New setup, woo! So if you spent 2 minutes on the internet and have any sort of interest in finance or money, you've probably seen a lot of crap like this. Not only is this stuff annoying, I mean when it shows up on my phone I have to use an extra finger movement to scroll past it, but some of them are just terrible piece of advice or straight up scams. If you don't know, this is the Dana Yee Show, and on this channel I talk about all things money and finance. And on part of my journey to teach and entertain about money and finance, I want to look at some financial advice from TikTok. That's a very weird sentence to say. One thing I will say before starting is that even though there is a lot of terrible advice or questionable advice out there, the fact that a lot more people are talking about finance is good because a lot more people notice it, and then a lot more people are inclined to learn. You know what else is a great thing? Bopping that like button and hitting subscribe for more awesome content. Anyway, here we go.
What's a piece of information that you learned that feels illegal to know?
That if you start an S corporation and you own 100% of your S corporation.
Firstly, I don't hear a lot of southern accents, so I found this video very amusing for whatever reason.
That you can buy everything that you own under that S corporation, and then you don't pay taxes on anything that you purchase because it's considered a corporate expense.
Secondly, I will say there is an inkling of truth to what she says. What she's talking about is called an S corp or S corporation. You can think of it as a status for a business, and it provides a lot of benefits, and one of them is tax benefits. So the part about writing off business expenses is true. When you have a business, you can write off business related expenses, but the key word / hyphenated phrase is business related. If the IRS were to audit you, you have to be able to prove that these expenses were necessary in the ordinary course of business. So if you have a business running real estate and you buy a pair of really, really fancy heels, you probably can't write it off.
And you can actually hire your children to work for you.
This part?
For $12,000 a year tax-free, so then you're actually showing an expense, but you're gifting it back to your own family household.
Also holds some truth. You can pay your children through an S corp up to $12,000 a year without being taxed. And the reason she says $12,000 is because of something called the standard deduction. If you don't itemize your deductions, what? That wasn't even English. If you don't itemize your deductions, you can take what's called a standard deduction, which means you can earn up to this amount without paying taxes, and I believe for the 2021 year, it's $12,550. The only caveat here is that you would need to be able to prove that your kids did like valuable work for the company, so you can't just give them money and use it as a tax benefit. Although more props to you if you have your kids helping run a business, that's pretty cool in my book. I rate this 2 tax evasions out of 5 southern accents.
If you look at your social security card, you look at the back of the card, there's a letter, mine's G. That correlates with a Federal Reserve Bank. You take that routing number for that bank, which is on the internet, and then your social security number is the account number, and you literally have an account in a Federal Reserve Bank attached to your name with millions of dollars in it.
Hello, where is my millions of dollars? Oh wait, this is completely untrue. In most cases, if it seems too good to be true, that's because it is. And also, I have quite a few gripes with this video, so incoming rant. 1, she says the letter on the back of your social security card corresponds to a Federal Reserve Bank. She doesn't say how this letter corresponds to a bank, where you can find this information, so what? 2,
Social security number is the account number.
I'd like you to tell me this. How many digits are in a social security number? 9? Great. Now, tell me how many digits are in a bank account number, usually 10 to 12. So if your social security is 9 digits and the bank account number is 10 to 12, do you just pad the sides with zeros? Like, how does this work?
I've actually used the number and routing number to test it, see if it works. I've used it on energy and the payment has gone through.
Huh, yeah, some proof would be nice. You don't even need to show us your bank account number, blah, blah, blah. We don't need that. You could show us a badly photoshopped picture and somebody would believe you. I rate this 7 scams out of 9 digits of your social security number. Okay, that was ranty, but I had to get it out. On to the next one.
Just buy Tesla calls? Fair enough. No risk, no Rari, baby. Let's do it. And I'll put $15,000 on it. Brand, please don't try this at home. Try it in your car. Just kidding. Don't try this. Bad idea. Well, hasn't even been 2 minutes. We're already down 2 grand. 7 minutes in, we're down 5 grand. Down 40%, 6 grand in the hole. Been about an hour. We're only down 15%. And we're back in the green. 4%. Not sure how, but we're currently up by 4 grand. Okay, I sold half, but the rest of this position is currently at 47%. Can we get to 50?
So this and a lot of videos like it that I've seen push risky trading strategies, in this case options, and granted he does say
Please don't try this at home.
so these types of methods aren't inherently risky, but if you don't really know what you're doing, they obviously can be very risky and you can lose a lot of money, in this case $15,000. One thing I will say is I believe this case is a little bit different. If you don't know, the guy in the video has a really successful YouTube channel, he has a successful e-commerce business and owns 2 rental properties, and he's younger than me, so way to make me feel bad. But the reason I bring that up, it's to say that he's easily a millionaire several times over, so while $15,000 is a lot of money, to him, relatively speaking, it's not that much. So if he lost all of it, yeah, it would suck, but it wouldn't ruin his life. This would be a completely different story if someone with a net worth of, let's say, $20,000 tried it, because that would be 75% of their net worth. That being said, I still think this is very risky, and the message of just buy Tesla calls should not be remotely construed as any sort of financial advice whatsoever, but an entertaining TikTok nonetheless. I rate this 6 Elon Musks out of 2 rental properties. There are strings attached, entertainment only, or straight up wrong TikToks about financial information, but occasionally you find some educational and valuable ones too. Don't worry, if you want to see something really ridiculous, I've got one more for you, so stay around till the end. Now onto a video I like to put in the category of we should have learned this in school but we didn't, so now we're watching on TikTok.
So once you turn 18, get yourself a credit card. So once you get your credit card, you're going to be given a credit limit, which is how much you can spend in 1 month. So whatever your credit limit is, you only want to spend 30% of that. And just always make sure to pay your credit card balance in full and on time every single month.
This is actually really good advice. You want to start building credit as early as you can. However, if you're younger than 18 and your parents have good credit, they can add you to their credit card as something called an authorized user. It basically means you're a leech, and as long as your parents pay their bills on time and otherwise have good credit, it will also build your credit, and you literally need to do nothing. My mom actually taught me about this one, so thanks, Mom. I rate this 10 credit checks out of 10 leeches.
So how do we make money from home?
So basically, I just trade stocks on an app called Robinhood, and I know trading sounds intimidating. Here's my strategy in a nutshell. I see a stock going up and I buy it, and I just watch it until it stops going up, and then I sell it, and I do that over and over, and it pays for our whole lifestyle.
Excuse me? I really want to think this is a parody, or it's making fun of traders or Wall Street or something, but I think it's supposed to be serious. Technically speaking, he's not wrong. Buy low, sell high is the golden rule of investing. However, trading is not this easy, and if it were, don't you think we'd all be buying as it goes up and selling as it comes down? We'd all be very, very rich. Also, if someone makes a video like this where it makes it seem like they're making a ton of money, it's guaranteed and it's consistent, I expect them to be making bank. Show off the fancy car, the fancy house, the fancy watch, not the inside of your closet. Also, it looks like they handpicked 2 months that they did really well in.
In this month, I turned about 400 into 14,000, and in this month, I turned less than 1,000 into 20,000.
And while you can have beginner's luck or a few good trades from time to time, it's much more difficult to be consistently profitable. Lastly, gotta talk about this chart. Turning less than $1,000 into over $20,000 is great, but how did they do it? If you look at this chart, it took me about less than half a second to realize that they must be doing short-term expiration options. You don't see vertical lines like this otherwise. And also, I would like to note that after this basically vertical line, the rest of the month is pretty flat, and it was actually declining for most of the month, so that screams lack of consistency to me. I think it'd actually be really cool if they showed their profit loss over a longer period of time, because handpicking a few good trades is a really bad way to say, just buy low, sell high, it's so easy. If this one were a parody, I would absolutely love it, but it seems to be serious, so I rate this 1 closet out of 10 buy high, sell lows. TikTok is a strange place. There is some good financial advice out there and a lot of entertaining bad advice. I hope you found the bad ones entertaining as I found them ridiculous, and I hope you didn't forget to bop that like button, and I'll see you guys soon.